Yeah, you know what time it is. It's time for Bo and Nick, the losers with a dream. What a waste of time. Yep, they're losers. You're listening, so who's the freaking loser, people? Welcome to Bo and Nick's Losers with a Dream. Yeah, I freaking hate them so much. They're lucky they're funny because they suck at everything. You're listening. The question is, why?
Hello and welcome to the Losers with a Dream podcast. I am one of your hosts, Nick Scopoletti.
And I am the other host. I'm Bo McDowell.
This podcast is called Losers with a Dream because we are losers, but we have big dreams.
Aspirations.
Okay? Big aspirations. And to help our egos and our dreams follow us on social media, you could follow me at Nick Scopes on Instagram.
And follow me at Bo McDowell Comedy. Bo is spelled B-E-A-U because I'm French and I'm hot. It's always going to make me laugh.
But it's always going to make me laugh, dude. I hate you so much. You're the worst. Real quick, we have a live podcast we are doing May 1st with a little bit of stand-up, so Bo doesn't have a panic attack, at BJ Ryan's in Norwalk, Connecticut. It's May 1st, 2 shows, 7 and 9, socially distanced, all that stuff. You have to wear masks and, just be liberal, whatever. So, now, we're going to get into a little bit of a new segment today. We are guys. We do dumb shit.
Dumb.
Okay? We're going to do the meathead moment of the week.
Yeah.
Bo, kick it off. What did you do wrong?
Well, I'm just like a little bit of a fucking psycho sometimes. So I was standing in there's like a little it's hard, like it's like a foyer into my apartment.
Vestibule?
Yeah. And I can see out the glass, and there's this guy that's just walking down the street, and he turns to look at me, and we made eye contact. And the thing about like a strange man making eye contact with me, that's a direct threat. So I immediately just started barking at him and going, "What do you want?" And I was just like, "Hur, hur, hur." And he looked at me like I was a psycho and ran away. But the thing is, like, I'm a nice guy. I talk about my feelings all the time. Okay, but then like you also need to remember that like I'm a red-blooded American man, and sometimes I just want to beat a man up, and I think I could take him out. So I got a little crazy there. I scared him a bit, but it's nice to kind of let your just evil side out on somebody and just let them know, like, hey, yeah, I'll fucking kill you. But I shouldn't do that, and I'm sorry. And this is my apology. And Nick, what is your moment of the week? What happened?
So a friend of mine, we used to date a little while back. She reached out to me and was like, "Get me a table for this show." I forget which show. Like, she's like, "I want a table," and we're friends like that, whatever. She's like, "Get me a table." I go, "Too late, sold out."
Yeah.
I go, "Lose my number." Okay. I'm getting famous now. You got to buy your own tickets.
Yeah.
I can't just hand out tables. Okay. I run a business and a company, and I'm an adult man. Sometimes.
I'm a man.
And she just goes, "I hate you." And I go, "I hate myself." That's why I stand on stage and go, "Like me."
Yeah. Well, it's like for 99% of the day, you can just be, hey, just a little girly. Hey, what's going on?
Oh, yeah.
Have a fucking Pokeball and fuck off. And then there's just that 1% where that male gene just like kicks in. You're like, you just don't look at me like that. And then you get a little crazy. And I get it. I know where that comes from.
A Pokeball. Dude, you love Poke. Real quick side note.
Yeah, it's because I want to stop Asian hate, okay? I'm here. I am saving the Asian people by eating their bowls.
He eats their bowls at an insane rate. Just the speed at which he wolfs them down before going on stage. I don't know how you don't fall asleep.
No, it's because I'm a karate master, and I shove it in my face. I get out there, and I fucking crush.
I can't stand you. No one will ever love you. Speaking of,
so deep. That's like a deep cut, dude.
You're fine.
I'm feeling.
Get in your dirty car and
I love
cry.
you.
All right. So, who did we fall in love with this week?
Oh, okay. Well, for me, it was the guy from Seaspiracy. Yeah, I just like he was like packing up all of his stuff. And he's like, I'm gonna go change the. And I was like, you go change the world. Please bring me with you. I want to be like in his little camera case. Like, we'll stop the Asians from killing all the seals or whatever they were doing. And no, but he had that girlfriend who was so hot, and he was just so annoying. But he reminds me of every guy that like you just like, you're like, oh, like you have this dream and you have this like delusion of like, I'm going to make a difference and I'm woke and I get it. And I just wanted to, for a second, I just wanted to be a girl from Brooklyn who like bought in. It was just like, yeah, let's travel.
Dude, I watched that thing and I was in until they get to the part where he calls up a Long John Silver's. Yeah. And he's like, hey, my name's Trevor. Like, I just wanted you to know that, like, could you guys stop using plastic? And I was like, that's it.
My name's Trevor. What's going on?
I'm done. It's over for me. This was like I was interested. I thought it was going to be like a little more scientific. And then, like, once that happened, I was like, okay, man.
No, yeah.
You're calling fast food restaurants?
Yeah.
I think those people are like, oh, yeah, we're so sorry. Like,
whoops.
Yeah, oh, man. I know I'm working at Long John Silver's,
Can you
but I
imagine
really want to
your
make a
father
difference.
taking that call?
Dude, my
yeah.
No.
Like, what was it? The straws?
You stop using your plastic when that's
what
like,
was it? The straws? Why don't you shut the fuck up?
How are people going to eat
Trevor?
shit? That's what my dad would say.
Yeah.
How are people going to eat things?
What are they going to go use their hands and shove it in their face?
Like barbarians?
My people didn't come over here on a boat to eat with their hands. Okay?
My grandma did. She really did.
Yeah,
yeah, dude. That's so we fell in love with those people. Now, for me, I'm going to tell you who I fell in love with.
Please tell me.
It's a guy, which, for those of you that know me, it's not a surprise, right? We all saw this coming. I had a fake sinus infection a few weeks ago, so I was told by friends. So I had to stay home and watch Netflix. I watched Down to Earth with Zac Efron.
He's a hunk.
I don't give a shit. Guy, girl.
Yeah.
That's one of the best looking human beings on the planet. Period.
Yeah.
And if you're a guy at home, if you're a guy and you can't admit when another guy's good looking, you're an insecure loser.
Yeah,
okay.
Guess what? Fuck you.
We're losers, but you're a real loser. Like, you really can't say, like, Zac Efron's one of the hottest people on planet Earth.
He is, man. He's really, really hot. And
It's overwhelming.
Yeah. Whenever I see a movie with him, I'm like, I just can't. This is gonna be a day. You know what I mean? Because you're like,
when he's in the frat next door.
Yeah.
The movie with Seth Rogen.
Oh,
Neighbors,
yeah.
dude. He's
grilling outside with no shirt on. I'm like, can I go to prom with you?
Can I tell you the funny thing is
get in his car.
Oh, dude, I'll do anything he wants. He's shredded in the movie Neighbors, like shredded,
so
right?
hot.
So Down to Earth, it's on Netflix. You can watch it, but basically they go around to like Iceland, Italy, all these places, and like try the cuisine and like learn local, grown stuff, and go to Costa Rica.
Dude,
he's eating. The best part is he's eating pasta and carbs, and he goes, oh man, I miss this, man.
Yeah,
and you could tell he like literally was like, I didn't eat. They're like, you didn't eat carbs? He goes, yeah, for about like 2 years, I just couldn't eat them. I had to be shredded. And he talked about when he was in Baywatch, and I was like, can you imagine, dude? 2 years.
2 years, no carbs.
He's eating homemade ravioli in Italy, and he's like, this is the best thing that's ever happened to me.
Yeah,
he was getting emotional.
The thing about that movie was, and I didn't watch it, but what I could hear,
because if Bo's not in it, he don't care.
Not interested. I spend every night watching my own sets. No, I could hear the call from his agent. Do you know what I mean? Like, I could hear the call from Zac Efron's agent being like, so, like, everybody thinks you're hot. Everybody loves you. Like, you're the guy next door. We love that about you. We love that. But now we want to do a thing where you're, like, cultured. And he was like, yeah, that's perfect. I really need that to be my vibe now. And then they, like, totally sold him as, like, this super cultured. He goes to all these different places. The thing is called Down to Earth, which is just a little on the nose.
Yeah,
but,
they're trying to get him.
You know what? Good for him, dude. I mean, if you can kind of pitch yourself as everything, like he's everything. He's the total package.
He did say though, like I remember one of the episodes real quick. He said, he's from Ohio. His dad works at a power plant in Ohio.
It's hot, right?
But like, I just didn't see that coming.
His dad knows about power.
Yeah. Just like,
you know what my dad knows about? Not power.
Mortgages. Yeah. My dad knows about hot dogs. Oh my god.
Yeah. What is it about that? What is it about Zac Efron that like makes you fall in love with him though? Like,
you know, it's such a simple thing, and it's so this is so ridiculous, but like when you watch him meet people on camera,
yeah,
he like looks them dead in the eye and shakes their hand. And it's just so like he's not it doesn't seem like he's a Hollywood douche.
he's got a good handshake. That's what I liked about him.
He's got beautiful eyes. No, he's just like, hey, how are you? He seems genuine, or maybe he's a weird actor.
That's not hard to do.
And I don't know. He's a good actor.
Yeah,
dude. In one scene, in one part of Down to Earth, he just made himself cry on cue.
Ooh.
To like throw off the guy he was with.
Yeah,
I was like, "Are you okay?" He goes, "Yeah, I could just do that." and he just like swiped the tears away real cool. He goes, "That's how I got my jobs.
Wow,
I could just make myself cry."
Damn.
Can you imagine?
Yeah.
I know you cry a lot. Do you think you can make yourself cry
If I really needed to,
right now?
I could
Do it.
No, I can't. Not that talented. No, but I mean, I don't know. I mean, he like, you know what is another movie that gets me is the Magic Mike. McConaughey,
dude,
crushes it.
Yeah, no, but see, did you see the second one? I've
No.
seen both, and I really like the second one the most. I'm not kidding. I've watched that movie multiple times. Yeah. It's about guys in their 30s.
Yeah.
And it's like it's funny because that show, it's just about guys in their 30s, and they're just holding on. They're having fun in this wild lifestyle because they don't have a steady girlfriend or a life, right? Like in the second one, in the first one, Channing Tatum finds a steady girl.
Yeah.
He's with her. And then the second one, they break up. And he's like, I'll go on a road trip with the guys. One last stripping tour. And they go to Myrtle Beach.
It's like Fast and the Furious for stripping. Like one more ride.
We're going to do it again.
I mean, yeah.
Movies.
But like Channing, he just always seems like such a dumb guy. Like he just seems, he has like a dumb, which I mean,
that's based off his life, dude. He did that shit.
But here's the thing. I need if I'm gonna be with a guy, you know, I need him to have a little depth, you know, like the Seaspiracy guy. He's, you know, he thinks he's saving the world.
Nah, too much depth. There's too much. You got to have some. It's too much.
I don't know.
Trying to say
because like I think for me, like I'm already like a dumb hot guy, so like I'm just like I can't date myself.
You got
know what
the
I mean?
dumb part right. That's for goddamn sure. Okay.
Yeah.
You got the dumb part right.
Yeah,
but yeah, dude, that's Zac Efron. I mean, Jesus
I get it.
Christ.
I get it, man.
You know. Now, the dude has been shredded. I mean, like his body is insane. We're gonna take a quick break. And then we're going to come back and talk about our topic of the week, which is related to that.
Perfect.
This episode of Losers with a Dream is brought to you by Nick and Bo's former girlfriends. All two of them.
Hello and welcome back to the Losers with a Dream podcast. I'm your host, Nick Scopoletti.
And I'm Bo McDowell.
The French guy.
Yep.
Now, we were talking about how hot Zac Efron was.
Yes, we
talking
were.
about his body. It's pretty incredible. And it ties into our topic this week. We are talking about, this is everybody, or we're talking about, you know, as guys, but body image. I mean, I didn't know there were that many hot people on planet Earth until Instagram came along.
Yeah, it's true.
Really will ruin your day if you follow the wrong people and you see them every morning when you wake up.
Yeah.
And you like their photo reluctantly and then you cry and go back to bed.
Yeah, but you got to remember, like, most of that, it's just not real. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, and probably some of those people, if you talk to them, it's like talking to this brick wall behind us.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
You learn that as you get older.
Whereas we have personalities.
Personalities. But, like...
Would you rather have a personality than be hot?
Of course.
You sure? I'm talking like...
What do we...
I'm talking like 8-pack abs, like just beautiful, like just like Will Smith. You're just...
Like Independence Day Will Smith?
Yeah.
Ooh.
I don't know, dude.
I Am Legend Will Smith?
Yeah. Because I've asked friends and they always like personality, but it's because none of them are good looking. We're all comics. And they're like, I'd rather be able to tell my joke. It's like, dude, I don't know. If you had an 8-pack, it'd probably be pretty easy to get places.
We'll get to this later in some of my notes, but like we'll talk about that. But like, yeah, when I fluctuated in weight as you have as well, right? We were athletes in high school and weights up and down and all this stuff, and like you notice essentially immediately that when you get in better shape, the attention
Oh yeah, you
from
get
women is almost immediate, and it's like it almost was to the point. I'm not kidding. Where at one point where I got in really good shape in my life, it was like this is so much easier now.
yeah,
Like really, like it was like this is
right.
why wasn't I doing this before?
Yeah.
Is this all that matters though? Then I was like, but is this all that matters? Is this like do you get wrapped up in it?
I mean, I think that if you look good, your life is easier. You know, like if you're a really good looking person, there's no doubt that like life is easier for you. I mean, you know, especially if you're trying to find somebody, you know, or if you just want a job, like, you know what I mean? Like people are more likely to help somebody that they're attracted to than somebody that, you know.
I have the
Looks
best
like
example of this
you.
because I work at a gym. Looks like me. Yeah, cool, man. Yeah, that was nice. So I work at a gym, right? Like,
Yeah.
I've been a trainer for 10 years. I take training very seriously. I have a degree in exercise science. I have all these certifications, right? Like, take it really seriously. Now, we open up. I work at Equinox. We open up. There's a girl there who's 22 years old, blonde. Looks like, I'm not exaggerating.
Yeah.
She looks like she was made in a fucking lab.
Right.
Like when I first saw her, I was like, this doesn't even make sense. Like
Yeah.
one of those people that is unbelievably hot.
Yeah.
We open the club, and as a trainer, you have to get clients. You don't walk in with a salary. You don't get a book of clients. You have to sell yourself on clients.
Right.
Guess who filled up the quickest?
Yeah.
I have 10 years in the industry. Guess who got all the clients immediately?
Yeah. Well, if I walked in and there was a really hot blonde girl who was like, I would love to train you, and then you were like, we could do squats together, I'd be like, yeah, I think I'm not going to do squats with you. I think I'm going to, you know, work out with that really hot chick.
I'll get right behind you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if you fall, I mean, you're like 360 pounds.
Listen.
So she wouldn't be able to help you, right? You're 360, you're squatting maybe, I don't know, 100, right? Not a lot. So I would get underneath you and I'd be able to help you up. She would not. You would just die.
I mean, yeah, but I don't think about that. I mean, that's the thing about like being an attractive person is you look past so many like faults and so many like, oh, this shouldn't work or whatever. Even like, you know, it was really. I saw the 40-year-old virgin, and remember he hires the chick to lift the TVs, and he's like, I don't know, she'll just do like she'll figure it out. It's like she can't even lift an iPod. What are we doing here? You know? And
He's like, I don't know, man.
Yeah, but it's just like, you know, if you look really good, if you're a really really handsome or really really like hot girl, it's just your life's gonna be generally easier.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. For me. Yeah, like it's gone up and down, but I've never been like like, you know what I mean? Like no one's ever been like, that's an attractive person. I think that it's just been like, you know, less bad. Do you know what I mean? like
Less Bad, the spinoff of Losers with a Dream podcast with Bo McDowell.
Yeah. And like, but I'm delusional enough that like if I've lost some weight or whatever, I'll be like, I look really really good. You know what I mean?
It's like that joke, your joke you tell.
Yeah.
And you were like, yeah, I was working out a lot that week.
Yeah.
So I thought people weren't going to get this.
Yeah. No, well, yeah, it's like I'll lose 10 pounds and it'll be like, why doesn't Men's Health want to do an expose on my, you know what I mean?
Again, I need more of your delusion.
Yeah. No,
I need more of it.
Yeah, because you're too honest with yourself. You're like, this is not good. I need to be this. I need to be that.
I get to this weight, and then I get to that weight, and I'm like, all right, just a little bit more.
Yeah.
And then everything's perfect, and then it's like, dude, nothing's perfect.
Right. No.
Ever. Like, there's even been, I mean, well, so I want to stay on this topic of body image. When do you start to realize this stuff? Because when you're a kid, kids are pretty mean.
Yeah.
Right? And they'll point out any and all physical flaws you have. You were a bigger dude. I know for me, I was rail thin in an Italian family. Like, you could see his ribs. We need to fatten him up. And it's like, oh, you did a good job. So I have a weight problem as an adult. Thank you, Nan, for the lasagna. But
you know when I found out, and I don't even know if it was a weight thing, but it was just like this is how I look. Me and like a bunch of buddies we're getting ready to go. You know, when you're a kid, you would like go to the movies with a bunch of girls because you couldn't talk to them because God forbid
you
talk
go in a
to
group.
So you go in a group. Groups. Yeah,
you
go in a group to the movies,
no.
And then you try and suck face or whatever, watching Shrek 2.
Or you blow one of your friends. Whatever.
Yeah,
like I used to do.
whatever. And we're like getting ready to go. and my buddy Charlie got a call from the girls that we were going to meet. And this is so, like, I feel like uncomfortable now just telling this story because I'm like, this is bad.
Yes.
This hurt me so bad. And my buddy Charlie's like, yeah, it's me, my buddy, whoever, and Bo. And they were like, Bo? Who's Bo? And it was like, Bo McDowell, like, he's in your class or whatever. And I was like, when she said, who's Bo? I was like, oh, God. She doesn't know who I am. You know what I mean?
At that moment, I knew I had to get on stage so people look at me.
I was like, wait a second. You know what I mean? I lent her a pencil the other day. You know what I mean? Like, upset. And then my buddy goes, well, take out the yearbook. You can find him. And in my head, I'm like, it's not a good yearbook photo. It's not a good yearbook photo. You know what I mean?
It's not my best work.
So she pulls out the yearbook with her 3 friends on the line. They're on speakerphone. I mean, it's just terrible. And she gets to me, and
I'm getting nervous.
She goes, "Oh my God, he looks retarded." And I was in the back, and I literally, like, you know when, like,
your stomach.
Yeah, you can just feel like it was like
this
right.
Is it. Yeah.
And I was like, oh no, because up until then, like, I wasn't like, oh, I'm a lady killer, like I'm gonna be like, getting a bunch of chicks or whatever. But I was like, oh, I'm not a bad looking guy. Like I'm all right. I'm kind of like in the middle, And hearing that, I was like, oh, is that what people think about me? You know what I mean? It was like my first window into like what a girl my age would think about me, or like, and yeah. So I think that moment really destroyed for, years, into like early mid high school. It really ruined the way that I felt about myself in relation to like women, because I was just like, oh, man, it wasn't easy to come back from that, because it was just such an early thing to hear, and it was so like brutal. But at the same time, like, I think that it also made me have to be more, like, I had to like develop more of a personality, because I felt like I have to override this. Like when I was in 8th grade, I used to wear really short shorts.
Still do.
Yeah, but like I would wear them up like really short, because I was like, people will look at me. You know what I mean? Like, I need you to look at me. So of course, comic, like, I need everybody to pay attention. So, but I noticed when I had these fucking super short shorts on, and I was walking down the hall, everyone was like, and people were laughing, and you know what I mean? And it was just like, it was
still do.
Yeah, and it was just like my way of being like, you think I look retarded, so screw you. Here's now how I, you know what I mean? This is how I kind of show you that I am worth it, because I'm different than the other guys.
That's hot, dude.
Yeah.
Just picturing a middle school.
Didn't work. It's not like any girls were like, oh my God, look, he wears short shorts.
See, I had like, mine went in waves
Yeah.
and lulls. Like, I will say I started out the first half of my life, I was like pretty skinny, like really skinny kid. Always had like, like in elementary school when you have girlfriends.
Yeah.
Always had like a girlfriend. Like, had one of my first kiss was like in 4th grade.
Wow.
I was one of the first, Lisa's going to hate this, but it doesn't matter. I was one of the first guys in my middle school, I think it was 6th grade, to get a hand job. I was the first one.
That's cool.
If you hear vomiting,
dude,
we know it's Lisa off camera.
That was cool.
But
I'm proud of you right now.
Right?
Yeah.
It was like, I'm not going to get into some of the details, but like, I had some really aggressive sexual things happen to me in like 7th grade. It was like, I'm the fucking man.
Yeah.
I'm killing it.
Yeah.
And then I had the world's biggest growth spurt. Yeah. I went from 5'5" to the height I am now, so like 5'11", and I stayed that since I was 13. Had a big growth spurt. I got tall, a little leaner. Right? Yeah. And then by the end of 8th grade, I gained about 50 pounds to accommodate that 6-inch height growth.
Yeah.
And I noticed immediately the attention from women was just gone. And I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
To the point where one of the girls who gave me my first hand job denied it.
Oh.
And was like, him? Ew, in front of everybody. And I was like, kill me.
She was like on the stand at a courthouse, like, I would never touch that.
And I was like,
you're like, it happened.
And then at that point, so I graduated 8th grade. I moved to Connecticut, moved to Monroe.
Yeah.
And now I'm in a whole new school with all new people.
Yeah.
And I'm in this new shitty body.
And no one knows that you were a cool kid that got the hand job.
No one.
Yeah.
They did in Monroe, though. When they heard I was from New York, they thought it was the city, but it was just Westchester.
Yeah, there
it was
you go.
America. Like, oh my God, you're from the city? And I couldn't
Yeah, I
lie. I
gotta
would
get
be
on the
like,
subway.
no, it's like it's outside of it.
Yeah.
And whatever. But yeah, then there was a 2-year lull, freshman, sophomore year. And then junior year, I got fucking jacked because I was playing football at the time, lifting like an animal. And then again, girls that ignored me freshman, sophomore year. I told you on your podcast, I was talking to you about, went to ring dance with this girl. I asked her out. Couldn't believe she said yes. And I didn't have the confidence to go for anything.
Yeah.
And at the end, she had to drive me to my buddy's. It was the after party he had at his house. And all I did was put my hand on her shoulder, and I was like, this is going to be so fun. I'm so excited. Like, I wasn't trying anything. She was like, don't touch me. Cut to a year later when I'm ripped and I'm wearing Under Armour and I don't wear shirts underneath my football pads because I think I'm fucking cool.
Yeah.
She's like, hey, do you want to get lunch today?
Right.
And I immediately was like, oh my God, this is the way, I guess.
Yeah.
This is how it's supposed to be.
Right.
For the rest of my life.
Yep.
And then, I mean, it just...
But what that does is it builds in this feeling of like, well, if I don't look good, then I'm worthless. Because especially when you're like middle school, high school, your self-worth is very attached to the amount of like attention you're getting from the opposite sex.
Oh my God, yeah.
So like you hit it, and now we're older, and it's like if we don't feel good about the way we look, then we kind of we'll sometimes we'll go back to that story. For me, it's not the same, obviously, because I've grown up. I know myself a little bit better. I just don't want to be miserable with it.
Right.
Like I gained a bunch of weight in the beginning of the pandemic because I was just eating cereal and like freaking out for the first 2 months, like literally just Cap'n Crunch and just crying and like I'm not gonna do comedy anymore, just like the worst, you know what I mean, like just self-pity, and put on all this weight. And I remember going to put on a pair of jeans.
Ooh.
And
that's a tough, yeah.
It was like we were starting to get the club back in on Washington Street. And so like it was our first show and I was like, oh well, I should put on jeans. You know what I mean?
Finally.
Yeah.
5 months later.
Because I'm going to go out. I'm going to do some jokes. So I should put something on instead of like wearing my athleisure attire every day that I was wearing. And so I put on the jeans and like, I mean, they looked like they were painted on. You know what I mean? Like it was awful.
Like my jeans.
Yeah. Like yours. Except, I was just like blowing over these things.
Yeah.
And just that feeling of like, oh no, what have I done to myself? Like and then there's the worry of like I feel bad. I feel bad about myself. I feel bad about the way I look. And so like zero confidence, which you do need confidence, especially when you're going on stage. You know what I mean?
Dude.
I have confidence in the way I can deliver material. So like that usually overrides the way that I look on a given night. But it definitely hurts like, my ability to be like comfortable.
Oh, dude. I mean, this goes in perfectly to the next point I wanted to talk about was, for me in middle school, I have a big chest. It doesn't matter if I weigh 270, if I weigh 170.
Yeah.
These things will never leave me.
Yeah.
Ever. Okay. So everyone calls me Scopes, and in middle school they used to go, what's up, Scoops? And scoop my tit.
Yeah.
And so I used to constantly do this. I would pull my shirt.
The fat guy pull.
Roll forward.
Yeah.
Now, when I first started stand-up at 30 years old, I noticed, some people pointed out, but I felt it. I would do that on stage constantly.
Yeah, I know.
And I was like, oh my God, I'm 30.
I know.
I was 13. I'm still doing this? Like, what am I doing? And I would literally pull on my shirt. I forget, it was a girl at one of our shows was like, why do you pull on your shirt so much? Yeah. And I had to explain to her, like, well, listen, my trauma is that. And I just had to tell her, but I mean.
But yeah, you don't want to be going into like 40s and 50s with that. You know what I mean? The last thing you want to see is like a guy that's still not comfortable with himself after those years.
Dude,
like
nothing makes me more uncomfortable. And it's like, I mean, I know for me, there was a point where I got hurt and I lost you lose your identity.
Yeah.
I couldn't lift weights and my body went to shit.
Yeah.
And I'm a trainer and it went, I couldn't figure it out and it took me a while and now I'm back on track and all this shit. But for years,
right,
you lose your identity. So you almost, like you said, in a way, you're forced to find your personality
Yes.
in other ways.
Yeah, and then you start doing stand-up and...
Started doing stand-up. That helped. When I started doing stand-up, like a few months later, I remember it was like the next year, like I dated and hooked up with two of the hottest girls I've ever hooked up with in my life. And I was like, oh my God.
Stand-up
Wait a
comedy.
minute. Do I not have to work out anymore? Or?
Yeah.
I mean, I can't not work out, but
Yeah.
dude, it's for me, the body image thing, it's directly correlated to being wanted and being liked and being attracted to, have women being attracted to you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I know for me, it's like, oh, I need this to be this way, but it's,
I know. Well, dude, I started working out in August, and I got the trainer and everything, and like, I think it was the first time where I was working out not just for to look different. And the reason why it happened was because I like freaked out. I had like a nervous breakdown in June, and I was like, I'm gonna go for a run. And so I went out to this park,
and it lasted for 3.5 minutes.
I started doing wind sprints because I was like, I haven't worked out, but what if I just, do
remember
the
high
hardest
school,
thing?
dude?
Yeah, what if I just did the hardest thing right now? So I did 10 wind sprints back and forth in this park. Probably 100 yards, like just
like earthquake in downtown Stamford.
Yeah, and then I was walking back, and my heart is going, it's going so fast, and then all of a sudden my vision goes, I hit the ground, and I'm like gasping for air.
Jesus
and I was like, oh my, like I'm going like, and I'm like trying to get people to help me, and people are coming over, and like they sit me down, and I had to work on my breathing for a solid 5 minutes before I was like, okay, I can walk again, Dude. And I was like, oh no, my heart's fucked up. You know what I mean? Like I can't push myself because like I've done damage to my body that like I need to work on. So when I got the trainer, every 2 days when I was working out with him, at some point I would lose vision and I would fall down. So
Jesus.
it became like, oh, this is for me to survive less than it is like for me to like feel, you know what I mean? For me to like feel like I look good in jeans. You know what I mean? It was more like,
your health. Yeah.
Yeah. It was just like, dude, if I can get through an hour-long workout and not like pass out and like be scared for my life, then I've won. And I got there, which was huge, but it took like 3-4 months of like constant work and constantly like kicking my own ass, and at least I was able to get there, which I'm happy about. But it was a huge change for me then, I'm doing this because I want abs, because the reality is like I don't need abs. Don't need them. Nope. You know what I mean?
Nope.
Like what I need is to like not die at 50.
If a joke bombs, you can't just like lift up your shirt and like, see this?
No. Like I don't need to be like this crazy hot, not that that's ever going to fucking happen, but like
it won't.
I don't need that. What I need is to live a long time.
Yeah.
And like be comfortable in my body. So like I think that was the big change for me in the past year, where it's just like I just want to be somewhat healthy. I want to be like, if I want to cheat on food a little bit, I want to be able to do it without like being like, oh man, like this is really scary for my health.
Right. Exactly. That's what I mean. I had the same thing. When I was 23, so like my early 20s, whatever, I decided to, I read Arnold Schwarzenegger's Encyclopedia of Bodybuilding when I was 13, and I was like, this is what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I'm doing this, and like playing football, lifting weights, and eventually got to the point where I was 23, I was like, you know what, I'm going to do a bodybuilding show.
Yeah.
Which people get confused. They think bodybuilding is fitness. It's not. It's a performance sport.
It's a disease is what it is.
It's a real problem. It's a bad problem.
Yeah.
So I do this bodybuilding show at the age of 24. When you're 24 years old and you decide, you know what, I'm going to eat nothing but chicken and broccoli and rice and eggs and do 2 hours of cardio a day. Then I'm going to have my friends help me shave my whole body and spray tanner on me while I'm in a cabin in Vermont with just a sock on. You have a fucking problem, okay? Something's wrong with you.
Yeah, dude.
You have and you're wearing a turquoise thong on stage.
Was there any part of you as you were getting ready for this bodybuilding thing that was like, I'm gonna get so many chicks because I'm doing this?
I liked the attention it got me.
Yeah,
for sure. and you post pics and like all this stuff and
Right.
and again, like that's all it was, like the attention you get. But I was during those times I was so unhealthy, and it took me, I'm not kidding, maybe 2 to 3 years to get to a point where I had bettered my health. Like, I mean, my digestion.
Right. You just destroyed your body doing that.
Imagine this. Put this. So this is, I did my bodybuilding show. I'll never forget. It was March 10th. It was a Sunday.
Yeah.
And I said, I want to be done before my birthday.
Yeah.
So I could eat candy and chocolate and whatever. So it's a Sunday. We're in Vermont. I'm taking a diuretic. I cut water, all this shit. Okay. I went from 215 to like 180 in a 6-week period. Normal bodybuilding diets are 16, 20 weeks. You diet down like a normal human.
Yeah.
Me, I said, I'm going to do it in 6 weeks. So I do this fucking crazy diet. I am 180 on stage on Sunday. A week later, on Saturday, we are out in New York City for St. Patty's Day. I am 207 pounds.
Oh my God.
I mean, ankles of a pregnant woman.
Oh.
Like, you
yeah.
could push the water.
Oh my God.
I was like, I'm going to die. And
Yeah.
like, and eating I ate White Castle for breakfast. Like, my hunger, they had like, we have green bagels and cupcakes. So it's this girl's apartment, and I was like, give me. I just ate 8 of them. I didn't even drink that day. I was just like, I'm just going to eat. I was like,
God.
this is a nightmare of a problem.
Right.
This is bad. It's like, oh, I look kind of good though. I'm like, this
Yeah.
And it's like, hey man,
Hey, that doesn't really matter.
I remember. I'll never forget this. I remember feeling like garbage outside of a bar in New York City. Like, I was like, oh my God, dude, what did I do to myself? And a girl yelled at me and was like, you have a great butt. And I was like, all right, maybe I should like keep this going. Maybe I could like just push through a little bit more.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, I mean, what a fucking nightmare. And then I spent a few years after that trying to chase that physique.
Oh.
Which at that time, it's not fucking realistic.
No, yeah, it's not possible.
People don't realize that. They think fitness and they see like CrossFit, and when you see people at the highest levels of things, that's not healthy.
No.
I'll tell you, everyone backstage at a bodybuilding show is miserable, tired, we're all dehydrated.
Yeah.
When people are hitting poses on stage, you see people like this.
Yeah.
Like shaking because they have nothing left in them. Everyone's backstage talking about what they're going to eat after. That's what's happening.
It's horrific.
Like, it's the weirdest in your underwear. Like, I just really want pizza. Like, I don't know, man. Then you have to go out there and smile.
Yeah.
Like, I want to kill myself.
That's a disease, dude. That's scary. I mean, because I mean, at that point, you're really putting your health at risk for what?
Yeah.
You know, it's not like you're going to become Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I mean, I'm close, but yeah, no, but definitely, like, there's I mean, obviously, there's all sorts of addictions and issues, and we're talking about body image.
I think that I was thinking about how that relates to comedy, because like, definitely when I write something or I have a good set and I get that feedback from people, like, it just
dude.
Fuels me
for the week.
Yeah, like
until the next show.
Oh my God. And I mean, you know, if you have a bad set, like, it can, especially now with like, we don't do as much stand up as we used to because there's just less clubs open, there's less opportunities with COVID. So it's like, you know, you go up, and if I'm not going to get to go up again for another 4 days and I bomb, that means I'm sitting with that bomb and that rejection for 4 days, which is really, really like difficult, but it's also, it shouldn't be where I'm deriving like mental health and happiness. So, you know, I think that's just another way we kind of do that, but you know, we'll get there.
Dude, I mean, yeah, I'm the similar way. I'm the same person. You have a bomb. Real quick, when I would do stand up, there's times where I would do stand up, and if I had a really good set, I wouldn't want to do it again. I was like, let's wait 10 days.
Yeah.
I want to live off this for a little while. It's just such a psychotic way to live.
Totally.
So that was on body image. Okay, that was our topic. Now we're going to take a quick break.
Okay.
And then we're going to come back.
All right.
And we're going to bring in our mentor.
Oh boy.
This lady, our life coach,
Lisa Lampanelli.
We will be right back.
This episode of Losers with a Dream is brought to you by Bo and Nick's Tits. Just like their careers, they're not going up anytime soon. Because they're losers!
And welcome back to the Losers with a Dream podcast. We are losers, but we have big dreams. Big dreams. think we'll achieve them?
I don't think so.
I'm nervous. Speaking of nervous, our mentor and life coach, Lisa Lampanelli, is here to now rip us apart.
No. Lisa Lampanelli will not rip you apart.
Okay.
Yes.
Lisa Lampanelli applauds you for
Hey,
your honesty.
we had a good
I know.
week.
Honestly, I listened to your whole body image discussion, and honestly, this is always a problem that I thought only afflicted gay men and women. Because honestly, like those communities are society is so hard on women, first of all.
Yeah.
Second of all, gay men just, even within their own ranks, they're so hard on each other.
Yep.
Yeah.
So to hear two supposedly straight guys, theoretically straight guys,
We'll see how this year goes.
yeah, that's true. Talk about this with such openness was very good. Now, first of all, I have to be honest, I had no idea the bodybuilding world was so horrifying.
Oh, my
I mean, you're
God.
like, they're miserable, they're depressed backstage. They are all thinking about what they need to eat next. I mean, that's like when they're watching Bo's comedy show. No one wants to be there, and they're all going, please, I need to eat because he's large. But in all seriousness, that's a horrifying world to live in. And that achievement, that searching for perfection, I think what you touched on about looking for the perfect body type and just having the perfect abs and having the perfect build, you're always on your way down after that. Like there's no way
God,
to
yeah.
there's thing in addiction, as Bo knows, chasing the high.
Yeah.
The high is never going to be as good the second time. So the first time you reach the height with the bodybuilding, or you lose the weight, or you have the exercise moment, or run the marathon, you never can achieve that high again, just like with heroin or drinking or anything else. So it's really sad that we think chasing the perfect body is going to ever work.
Yeah.
Because it's always downhill. Everyone's going to age out of the perfect body. Everybody's going to, have an injury or become, an older person who can't do what they used to.
Right.
And also, I like the point that deprivation always leads to a binge.
Yeah.
As someone who
Always.
studied body image, and my whole show, the one I'm doing, I'll give it a shameless plug, April 24th,
We have a lot of
Fairfield
listeners,
Theater.
so,
We're doing a live stream, tickets at lisalampanelli.com. A lot of it's about food and body image because that was my struggle my whole life. And I think it's so universal that, there's really funny parts of it. Like, I mean, when the girl called you retarded, horrifying yet funny.
Yeah.
But honestly,
So horrifying.
I always did think you were retarded. So I know. No, but we all had those moments.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
remember when I was writing my show about food and body image, my co-writer was this guy called Alan Zweibel. He was one of the original SNL writers. He wrote Billy Crystal's Broadway show 700 Sundays.
Yep.
Amazing.
And we were writing,
good,
and he
yeah.
said, when's the first time you realized there was something, quote unquote, or you thought there was something wrong with you physically?
Yeah.
And I remember it was very similar to yours. Claire Liptak, and that's her real name, that fucking guy.
It's always amazing how people know the
Stratford,
full name still.
Connecticut. Yeah, well, because it
Yeah.
imprints it on your soul.
Yeah.
Oh,
no,
yeah.
I know. It's just fun.
Sticks
Up
with you.
until ninth grade, because I went to Catholic school, first kindergarten through 8, everybody was super nice. I didn't think there was anything wrong with me. I was like, oh, I'm just like a person. Like you don't even think about your face.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
And I was just, the good weight, whatever. And this girl says the first day of class, she in ninth grade says, I have a big nose. Well, I'm freaking Italian. And this is how our noses are.
Yeah.
We're almost Jews. So I'm in my head going, oh my God, there's something wrong with me. Oh my God, they're always going to remember I have a big nose. So just like you, Bo, where this person says it imprints it on your soul for then after you are the person who has to overcome this trauma.
Yeah.
And what's funny, Dr. Phil years ago, when he was actually had some credibility, this is like 25 years ago, he had there are 7 people who have impacted your life that is not even like a parent or a teacher.
Yeah.
It's like the thing they said that was like, this is a trauma for the rest of your life that you have to fight. And that was definitely one of them for me.
Yeah.
So I totally could relate to that.
Yeah. No, it was brutal.
I mean, I do think a lot of it, though, is once I got the weight loss surgery after struggling with this for like 50 years, I did a lot of interviews about it. And we would talk about, are people more or less attracted to thin or fat or ugly or pretty or whatever? So there was this gay guy interviewing me for a gay magazine, and he goes, well, I'm just going to lose a whole bunch of weight because, by the way, this is not gay bashing. That's how he talked. Okay, so look it up. He goes, I just want to lose all the weight so the guys who wouldn't date me now. And I said, listen, I don't think they didn't date you because you were fat. Yeah. I think they didn't date you because you led with your lack of confidence.
Yeah.
I think you lead with your lack. So I think with us, that's often a problem. There are fat people. There are big people. There are ugly people, not conventionally pretty people, who have confidence. And I attribute that to upbringing and but sometimes the upbringing can be even the opposite, where it's the ugly kid who's told they're pretty, and then that person's a big fucking mess because they're overconfident. Yeah. So it's almost like you have to be in the sweet spot of parenting, teachers, students, everything, that you were able to develop some sort of worth that wasn't looks dependent. Right. Unfortunately, it sounds like with the three of us and with much of the world, unless we're as good as we can get, we feel like shit about ourselves.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of it is, if you guys, I applaud you for working on the external, because you said you almost really had a health problem.
Yeah.
So working on the internal, though, do you feel it's just as important or more important? Like what percentage wise would you give it?
It's 90% more. I mean,
really?
It's really that big, because I think that, because, for me, it's like humility has to come first. I have to understand who I am completely. And then I just want to take that and just put a little bit of pride on top, a little bit of ego, because, I can understand who I am completely, but I can't live in that all day. There has to be the points where I go but I just want to believe for a second. I want to have that hope that
okay, when you say who you are, who is that?
Well, I'm a guy I'm a drunk, former drunk.
Yep.
Right. I'm overweight. Right.
You don't have to pause a lot. I'm not going to argue with that.
I'm funny. I have I have some talent.
Funny,
right? And I'm nice. I'm very nice, and I'm kind, and I'm able to connect with people very easily, right? So when I think about who I am, that's who I am. There's some faults, there's some positives,
right?
But it's fun. The other day, when I first started working out, my buddy was like, how did the gym go? And the reality was, I was passing out while I was working out. Yeah. But on the phone, I said, you know what, dude? I'm killing it so hard. Right. I'm moving weight in that gym so hard that they actually changed the address because I moved the gym off its hinges. Right. And he's laughing and I'm laughing because he knows, that's obviously not true. And then also it's it's just fun to play. It's fun to play.
So in other words, you can put some humor and some healthy ego on top, opposed to unhealthy ego, which would be pushing you into a bodybuilding situation or a thinking you're better than so-and-so. Yeah. And I think also we all need, I read something over the COVID holiday, the year-long COVID holiday.
Let's call it that.
I looked at it.
It makes it sound nicer.
I had fun. The why has to be big enough.
Yeah.
So your why of working out had to be big enough.
Yeah.
You almost passed out. Okay, you running wind sprints. I picture Richard Jewell trying to defuse a bomb. That made me laugh so hard thinking about him in the movie running back and forth trying to, you gotta get out of here. You gotta get out of here. I'm like, Bo's gonna die. So, but your why was big because you don't want to die.
Right, yeah,
I don't have a big enough why.
Right.
I have a real mental and emotional block with movement. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
I've been working on it, trying to figure out what happened to me. Why don't I like to move? But the why isn't big enough.
Yeah.
Because I'm not in a health situation.
Exactly.
I'm not in a, oh my God, I'm gaining huge amounts of weight.
Yeah.
Eventually, would I like to have some movement in my life eventually? Sure. But I'm glad, paid attention to the why and did something about it. Because there's some guys who are way smaller than you and bigger than you who've had heart attacks and still not done it.
Yeah.
So, you should be, if you could reach your back over your flabby upper arm, you should pat yourself on the back a little for actually responding to that why.
Yeah. This is the same reason why I got sober too, right? Like,
Yeah.
I didn't get sober. Like, I always say this to people. I'm like, I didn't get sober because like I wanted to be a better person, or like, I wanted to get better virtues in my life. It was like, I'm really scared that I'm going to die soon.
Yeah.
And I'm young and I really want to live.
Right.
And I really want to have a life and like, have things. So I was like, I need to do this.
Well, it's life or death with sobriety.
Yeah.
I mean, but
it can also be that with food and,
It can, but it's delayed.
Yes.
In other
you don't
words,
see it.
If you're going to die from overweight, it's going to be in the future.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could die tomorrow from drinking.
Yes.
So, yes, I understand for those who, are like, oh no, OA is just as valid as AA. Give me AA any day. Solve the booze part and the heroin.
Yeah.
Then we'll work on the eating.
There's a hierarchy, right?
Certainly.
Yeah.
The discussion though about would you rather have a personality or be hot? I love how you two idiots pretend they're mutually exclusive. Like you can't be hot and have a personality.
It's rare.
It's too much.
It's really rare.
Well, it is. But I do remember years ago before I was working as a journalist. I was living in New York. It was right after college. I was working at Rolling Stone. And my roommate Jake, who was really fucking cool, like cool looking guy, like badass. I was like real punk. I go to him, I want to try this comedy. And he goes, oh, yeah, all right. You should try it, this and that. And I go, hey, how come, like, I said, I'm not ugly, I'm not pretty, but I'm not hard to look at. In other words, you should never do comedy if you're hard to look at.
Right.
Like, you could be really pretty, really ugly, or interesting looking.
Like Ralphie.
But you can't be where you go, ugh, where you go, because I knew a guy once, poor thing, he was doing comedy, but he had a port wine stain on his face. Now, huge. By the way, it's not making fun of him. It's saying he had to address it.
Yeah.
Like, do a joke because you've got to fucking not make yourself hard to look at. If you're hard to look at, address it. So anyway, I said to him, wow, I'm not conventionally good looking. I said, I could be a comic. I go, hey, why are there no hot woman comics? Back then there wasn't. He goes, because hot women don't have to be funny.
Yeah.
So for a while I believed that. But I think there are people who are both. Like, I bet Zac Efron has a great personality.
Sure. Seems
I know he's your boyfriend.
Yeah.
I know you both have big boners for him. I mean, who doesn't? He's fucking virtuous. Like, the guy is, like, not only out saving the planet, he's got a great physique. So who wouldn't be in love with this guy?
Yeah.
So there are people like that. So I think you keeping up the attitude of would you rather be this or that is no good.
Yeah.
I think that's a tweak you guys could do, because I think you're both lucky in that you'll never be too good looking to have personalities.
Right.
You both are fine. You guys are like good enough looking that girls take pity on you on occasion. You'll occasionally get a girlfriend, a hand job or whatnot. Maybe a fucking happy ending.
Give each other a hand job.
You probably won't have to pay for it.
Yeah.
But you've still had to develop personalities. But
Absolutely.
I think you gotta stop looking at the hot guy going, he's probably a big nothing, or the hot girl is probably a big
I'm just
nothing.
judging out of insecurity.
Well, no, who doesn't?
Yeah.
We all do it.
Yeah.
Like I like to look at these people and go, yeah, but I did this. Yeah, but I sold out Radio City. And they're probably looking at me going, yeah, well, I sold out Madison Square Garden. So, and again, we're never going to be at the top all the time.
Right.
Do you think you guys have had more, or has the lack of confidence contributed more than the actual lack of perfection with looks to what you're talking about here? Put it to Nick.
So say that.
If you had more confidence and this, which isn't horrible,
right?
What do you think? Which one has gotten more in your way? Your lack of the perfect look and the perfect physique, or your lack of confidence? Which one?
Confidence.
So if you think
fucking hands, I've blown it with girls where I just didn't even have the confidence to try. Like when I hear stories about like guys being too aggressive, and I'm like, oh my god, I can't. I
couldn't even do it.
I just was so Yeah. Oh
Well,
my God.
there's a
I've been the
difference.
other way.
I mean, guys shouldn't be too aggressive. I mean, there's a
No,
difference
no,
between
no,
lack
no,
of
no.
confidence and rape. Like, it's a really good idea not to be a rapist.
No, I'm
Rapist
saying
is
like
so confident.
That's complete lack of confidence.
he knows what he's doing.
He knows
but
what he
no, I
wants.
mean, I had a buddy that he's looks like Channing Tatum, but if you juiced him up, like he's huge and gorgeous.
Right.
But on top of it, his confidence, like he went up, I would see him go up to tables of like 5 girls and he'd be like, "How are you guys?" And they would ignore him, be on his phone. He'd be like, "So what's going?" And just stay in there and keep going. I was like, he's fucking insane.
Oh my God.
It's like he's a psychopath.
Yeah.
And
I was like, how is he?
Would
How
it
I
end up working for him?
Sometimes he's very good looking. Sometimes, but he's like, why would I give up? Like he was a professional athlete as well. He was
Right.
like, why would I'm gonna try.
Well, sometimes with guys and girls, it's a numbers game too. Like remember, when
My
I
buddy
was-
used to say, 7 no's, you get a yes.
Well, no, absolutely.
I was like,
I
oh
remember
my
this
God.
guy when we were coming up in comedy. There was this Latina comic called JJ Ramirez, and he would get laid so much, and I'd be like he was like the kind of guy who's like famous in Albany,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
New York City, or whatever.
Okay.
Like he was just a famous regional guy.
Yeah.
But they'd go, I go, man, how many times did he get laid this weekend? And they go, oh, every show. But I mean, they weren't all 10s. Nothing wrong with a little hamburger mixed in with the steak. You know what I mean?
Oh, we've all been
But
there.
he
Yeah.
kind of was into, he just was like, okay, the numbers. But I
Right.
think a lot of the times, it's just putting yourself out there again and again, and it's hard.
Yeah.
Like you guys are lucky in that. Bo, you probably, other than me, will never have anyone look at you and say you look retarded. I mean, I'll
Yeah.
say it. 'cause
Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
funny and we're friends.
Yeah,
And it's
yeah,
funny.
yeah.
And I shouldn't use the R word. I apologize. But I mean, he brought it up first. So you're lucky that it's that wound from the past isn't going to happen again.
No.
But it's the whole going in like it's not going to happen again.
Right.
So it's that working on that internal confidence. It's hard.
Yeah. Yeah. I think having the humility of knowing who you are mixed with a little bit of that healthy ego, you can go out there, you can talk to people. You're not like totally
Right.
petrified by what they could say because you've heard it and it's
Well,
okay.
that's the thing too. It's like funny because after I lost the weight after the surgery, I got a lot of compliments and stuff. Oh, I'm proud of you, this, that. And then I was reading some comment where, like, out of like 50 great compliments, because it was like a reveal, someone was like, "Man, you look old." And the thing is, old has never to me been an insult because
Yeah.
I'm never going to do anything to my face. That's like fucking ridiculous. Like, come on, like, what are you going to do? You
Yeah.
accept your face more than you
Yeah.
accept your body. But I was like, wow, people will always find something to say.
Yeah.
But it's so about them.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh, yeah.
and it's hard to remember, and you work through it, and you get
Yeah.
disappointed and sad. But another thing you brought up that was interesting was this privilege about conventional, good-looking people privilege.
Mm-hmm.
That they have it easier than ugly people, and it's true. But what you guys are lucky in is you've got a lot of privilege too.
Yeah.
You're white.
Yep.
You're guys. You're straight, supposedly.
For now.
You
On the
are
weekends.
semi-attractive.
Very attractive.
You have a house to live in. You have a roof over your head. You have, some sort of skills. I haven't figured out what they are yet, but apparently you have a way of making money. So you are, I think the way to get over, this is the big abracadabra of life, is gratitude. And I hate when people use it as a buzzword. I'm like, get a notebook and write down 5 things you're grateful
Every
for.
morning.
Yeah, fuck that
Yeah,
shit. Gratitude comes from in here, not on the paper, in my opinion. Like with me, when I'm driving now and I'm even coming to do this shitty podcast with 3 listeners, I'm like, oh my God, that's fun. I'm so grateful we're doing this. It just comes out and you go like, where'd that come from?
Yeah, yeah.
No, it honestly sneaks up on you. So I think the minute you're like, oh, why aren't I perfect looking? Why don't I look like Zac Efron? Why don't I conventionally good looking or whatever? It almost has to go to, oh my God, I'm so grateful that I have privilege. I'm so grateful I have a roof. Oh my God, I'm so grateful I have a job. I'm so grateful I paid my rent this week. And honestly, I think gratitude and compassion are your abracadabras, because your other compassion is, oh my God, that person has struggles too.
Yeah.
That good-looking person has struggles too. You mentioned Nikki Glaser the other about finding her very hot, which inarguably is. However, she doesn't think so.
Yeah.
And I know her. She doesn't
Right.
think so.
It's crazy.
So what you say is, you look at that hot person who also seemingly has it all because she's selling out big places. She has a big career. You go, I have compassion for her struggle too.
Yeah.
So I think it helps us get our head around people who look like they have more.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Oh my God, I feel like I'm really working and earning my money today, which is none because I don't get paid. Oh my God.
Pay
No,
you,
but
pay
I-
you Dutch's hot dogs.
Yes, which is great.
Gratitude is such an action thing. You know, like it's not. It's really easy to just like say like, yeah, I'm grateful for having a place to live, but like I think, you know, for me it's like it's the action of like, if I'm grateful to have a place to live, then I'm gonna clean it. And then I'm going to, you know what I mean? I'm gonna work on it. I'm gonna, you know what I mean? Like if I'm grateful to, you know, like be like sober, then I'm going to help other people that need it.
Service,
right? I'm going to do service. Yeah.
P.S. How about being grateful for that fucking car and cleaning that thing out?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
this is a way to discourage people from going anywhere.
Yeah,
with you. I happen to be a clean freak and a neat freak. I enjoy organization. I don't understand this car situation. We're going to have to tackle that in another episode. But what I do want to say is, when that thing happened to you was it in high school? That
Middle school.
Traumatic thing? Middle school's the worst. They're so
The
evil.
worst.
And those girls, I don't wish them bad, but I kind of do. But I kind of
They're all
understand
dead
because
now.
I'm
Yeah.
sure heard it from somewhere. They felt bad about themselves internally. Anytime you did it to somebody else, you had it done to you.
Yeah.
But did you really start wearing hot pants? I just and a tube top. Is a tube top?
No, not a tube top. I just had
Any top on Bo is a tube top. Here we go.
I needed to like stand out anyway. That you know what I mean. I was just like, I need you guys to see me because I felt so irrelevant after she said that.
Well, I think that's a really badass move, though, because a lot of people do not do that. They just go internal. Like I almost cried today because I was, I don't want to get choked up. But these kids were getting off the bus today, and I was like, oh my God, and they're all walking different ways. And I'm like, oh my God, which one of these is getting ignored? And which one of these is like getting bullied? And, you know, you go, Jesus Christ, I was lucky. I wasn't even bullied.
Yeah.
Like I was literally told I had big nose by that one fucking cunt who I'll never forgive, Claire Liptak in Stratford, Connecticut.
Yeah.
And you go, I'm like a rich bitch.
Yeah.
No, but how lucky are we that we didn't have severe bullying?
Yeah.
You know,
I think about that all the time. Like, yeah, everyone has little things in school, but like, can you imagine, like, especially as guys, like, physically getting the shit?
oh my God, I can't even.
being out of you. Like with dudes, it's brutal. With like
you
brutal.
get hit and shit, right?
I'll never forget this. In 5th grade, one of my favorite teachers, Mr. Zoffness, this was in Mamaroneck. This dude was a Jewish dude from the Bronx. He was tough as shit. There was this kid named Joey Petroselli. Everyone, of course, everyone. He wasn't special needs, but like everyone just picked on him, and he kind of fed into it.
Yeah.
And not me because I was too anxious of a child, but a lot of people would like beat the shit out of him.
Oh.
And one day. It was the worst. One day, I'll never forget this. We are 10 years old. This would never happen today. The parents would be up in arms. Our teacher, Mr. Zoffness, at this point, old Jewish, he's in his 50s. He comes out, he goes, that's it. He goes, everyone get the fuck inside. We're 10. There's 80 of us. He's like, everyone get the fuck inside. Took us all, 80 10-year-old kids, and like we all just sat in this room. He locked us in this room, and he sat down. We're at like a round table, and he goes, okay. He goes, why are you beating this kid's ass?
Wow.
And like 2 hours, we didn't do class the rest of the day. He goes, no, I'm with them the rest of the day. Everyone else can go here.
What a badass.
I love him.
Yeah.
It was the
That's
most.
like my boyfriend.
I have like
Call
goosebumps.
me.
I have goosebumps talking about it. And
Yeah.
he sat us down and he was like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Why are you guys doing this? And then, you know, each kid just started breaking down, or 10 years
Yeah.
old, crying like, I don't know why.
Yeah.
And then by the end of it, it was 2 hours. 2 hours. By the end of it, no one picked on this kid again.
That's
Yeah.
fucking
And we were all
Johnny
like-
Lawrence right there.
Yeah.
By
for
the way,
real.
that's our token Cobra Kai reference every episode.
But I will never, and no one, I left after 8th grade, but everyone was like, dude, through high school, like no one did that ever again. We were all like,
See, this
supportive.
is back in the days you could do that stuff.
parents would
Sick
freak
kids.
out
Well,
now.
listen to this. I loved this story. My mother is 91. She had the best father in the world. Like my grandpa Velgat was off the boat.
What's his
fucking
name?
Polak Velgat.
I love that.
Polak. he's big. He worked in the coal mines. Like, he was tough. So once my mother, it's funny, I found my mother's in the assisted living now after COVID. She's fine now, but I was looking through all the pictures and I noticed how she was so pretty. And then one day she got like that chubby, and then it wasn't good. Then it was pretty again. And I go, wow, she had so many stages, and it made me sad because I go, she never had a chance to enjoy that window. But it was very much how we're talking about the up and down dieting and all that. But I remember my mother loves this story because I think it's cool when people can like live through it and tell the story. My mother's like, oh, Grandpa was the best. One day, I was 6, and this little fuck, and what was his name? Whatever his name was, he called me Porky Pig, and he spit in my face. Now think about this. This is the 1930s. Yeah. Okay, she was born in 29. Spit in my face. She goes, well, Grandpa went right down to the school. He got in his face and he said, you listen, you even look at my daughter again, and I will stick my hand down your throat and pull out your heart through your mouth. That kid shit his pants. Yeah. The best part is, weren't those the good old days when parents could do that?
I'm sure his parents, that kid's parents got yelled at. He went home and told them that, and they were like, yeah.
Yes, you shouldn't do that, you little
don't
fucking
do that,
cunt.
you asshole.
Because now when you watch things like Dennis the Menace, you guys really shouldn't have jobs, because all you have to really do in life is watch Cobra Kai and Antenna TV and watch Dennis the Menace and Hazel and those old shows where the father stuck up. They'd go right to the school. Yeah. They'd yell at the kid. Oh, I love that. Yeah. But see, we didn't have that. You know, and you can't do that now, but I'm glad your badass teacher did that.
He's one of my favorite people. Honestly, I want to go visit him. I think he's still in Larchmont.
Let's go. I'll pipe him.
He was. I
like that guy. That's my new boyfriend. Hi, call me.
Dude, he was. One other real quick thing. When I was 10 and I wanted to go. I remember when I was 10 years old, I was like, I want to go to Notre Dame because I watched Rudy and I was obsessed with football. Yeah. That's why I wear Notre Dame things. I'm 10 years old and I was the worst in school. Not behavioral wise, just didn't do my work. Right. Yeah. I didn't care. And he pulled me aside. He goes, you're never going to get into Notre Dame if you keep this up. Yeah. This is a fucking problem. Yeah. That dude, he was the best.
Did you get in
class to show us how bad it was?
That's cool as fuck.
We went, look at this. I was showing us pictures of lungs. We were 10. We were all like, oh my God.
Did you, by the way, get into Notre Dame?
Hell no.
No, of course you didn't. No. Did you actually go to college?
Yeah, I did.
Where'd you go?
I graduated, barely made it out of high school. No child left behind. Thank you, President Bush. Second one. And I went to Housatonic for 2 years.
No, I'm not going to shit on any
No,
school.
It was great. It was a learning experience because we talked about this as well. All my friends left to go to colleges in August, and I was home. Yeah. And I was like, oh, shit.
Yeah, it's tough.
Oh, it's real now.
So did
now
you only go 2 years?
No, I went there and then I got into Springfield College.
Mm-hmm. That's the one I make fun of.
Exercise science. I was like, that's a major, and I did that, and it was 3.5 years. By the way, that's
not a major.
It is. It's a really good school. So I have so much pride. It's all right. We're the Springfield Pride. John Cena's an alumni.
Where did Bo go to college?
I went to Eastern, but I did the same thing as him.
Bo skates over real quick.
Yeah. I did the same thing. I was a terrible student, but I was getting high all day and drinking all day. So I was
it was steroids.
Yeah, I was just partying like crazy. So they like let me out. They're like, all right, thank you. And then 2 years at NCC, Norwalk Community College, where I was just drinking every night. And then I was like, I just got to get out of here because this was the problem. The place was the problem.
Of course, it's never us.
Yeah. And I had like a 2.5 GPA, so I get into a smaller state school, and 5 years there. I mean, it was crazy.
Well, here's the thing. I'm sitting here. Here's the deal. My first year, I went to Boston College, inarguably great school. Was lonely, and it was too white and Catholic, so I transferred to Syracuse University, inarguably great school. Then I do a summer program at Harvard, summer program at Columbia, and a summer program at Yale.
I didn't know that.
And yet, we're all sitting at the same table
in Shelton, Connecticut,
and we're all still struggling with body image. So I think it shows education, privilege, sex, gender, doesn't matter. Yeah. We're all still fucked in the head.
I think that's a good place to end.
And I think all we can really say is look, we're worth more internally than we'll ever be externally. Yeah. One of my favorite people in the world is this guy I know. He's handicapped. Again, I learned all the proper phrases now. They don't like disabled anymore, he told me, because disabled is lacking, dis.
Yeah.
So he's been in a wheelchair since he was 15. He was an Abercrombie and Fitch model. So imagine how hot. He dove, had a diving accident. He has been in a wheelchair for the neck down, boom, since 15. He is married to such a hot chick. He has the best sense of humor, and me and him would write. He wanted to go on stage, call himself the Crip, and this guy T, his name is T. I had met him because I started making fun of him at a show once. And he's like, hey, lady, make fun of this, and points that he's in a wheelchair. So I'm like, listen, Ironsides, let me tell you something. That's the last time you try to fucking stump me, okay? So don't bungee jump with a leather belt next time, you know? So what I can say is it's almost like we'll always be working on ourselves. We're privileged enough to be able to at least have legs to be walking around.
Yeah.
You know? And I could say, inarguably, this guy may be in a wheelchair, but he has better biceps than the two of you assholes.
It's because he can't work anything else. Anyways.
All right, so keep working on it. Promo, when are we coming back?
We are coming back. Dude, you just elbowed me.
Yeah.
Next week, maybe?
Do it.
We might, yeah. So catch us next week. Losers with a Dream podcast. Subscribe, Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, my Grindr account, Instagram, at
Gayest
Nick
hand.
Scopes. That was the...
And what's your at, mention, Bo?
At Bo McDowell Comedy, BEAU. You know the drill.
And then
Where am I?
You are
I don't have
at
to promote
Duchess
myself.
hanging out with my dad. You are at Lisa Lampanelli. Please not my 10.
And by the way, these douchebags will be doing a live version of the podcast.
May
BJ
1st.
Ryan, May 1st. Where do they go for tickets?
You go to unhingedent.com.
Worst name ever. We're going to change that. See you next week, bitches. If I decide to come back. Hey, thanks for listening to Losers with a Dream. We'll see you next week when you got more time to kill. Fucking hate these guys.